Hello everyone, welcome. Now this video is going to be different today, because what I mainly want to talk about is, remember that map from last video? I made this map. I'm not going to get into why I made this map, but I want to mainly, like, give some tips for anyone who's making a custom map and where's Gary, all of that. So what I'm going to do is, set that to 0 so we can see everything. And also, I just want to mainly, like, talk about some tips, because I do know there's a little help section, like, this notepad right here, but I don't think anyone wants to read that, so, like, visual examples are, like, a good way to, like, explain it. So, let's get started with the first little, thing I should mention about this. Let me, just show you visual. Stairs. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning these is, one, it's not just like stairs. You have to, like, make the ground, move it, you have to do some, interesting stuff, make stairs in this. And two, depending on how your stairs are made, okay? Like, let me just show you. Let me just bring this enemy over here, which I'll touch on at custom enemies. You see how he just stops and doesn't come up? That's one of the issues with stairs. It's one of the main issues. So, just a recommendation, either, depending on what you're going for, either A, make your stairs spaced out more, so that way your enemies can go up them, or, because I wanted to make sure there's enough room up here, simply have an enemy on the other floor or something, so that way there's a tension throughout the level. Which, speaking of enemies, let's talk about the enemies. Now, in this level, I have 3 enemies. I'm going to bring all of them over here to show you. These are all based on my characters, and I know you can't, like, have custom images, which actually, Billy Death, I know that you'll probably have one more update after this, so, as, like, a little, thing, can you, like, add, like, custom enemy images, because I think that would be cool, Like, you can, like, import an image of your character on each side and each animation. I feel like that would be cool. Not saying you have to do it again, I just feel like that would be cool, and, be nice for, the map editor. Also, as well, could you add more props and stuff, please? Because we don't have toilets and stuff, and, like, I have, like, a few areas that are supposed to be bathrooms. Yeah. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's talk about these enemies. So we got Tweety. I'll probably have a model of her, little render I made of her, like, next to it, so you can see, like, what she looks like and how she's supposed to look. Now, I will say about the models, they are outdated. So, sorry about that. They're gonna be more low poly. I'm gonna work on that when, we get started on development here soon. Okay. Barry, or Black Bear, as I usually call him, like as everyone else usually calls him. Yeah. Just a chill guy. Basically, about how these enemies work. Tweety just, like, roams around, and if you like, hit her, like, if you, like, interact with her at all, she doesn't, like, kill you or anything, but she alerts everyone else to your location. And by everyone else, I mean Barry, who's the roaming enemy, who also makes this map very difficult, I will say. Like, it's hard for me to beat sometimes, and when I do beat it, I feel like it's a hard map, especially the back area, which I will talk about map design later as well. Anyway, and the main guy, Hallie, who just basically hunts you down. As you saw in the video, he just basically always knows where you are and hunts you. And this guy, Mr. Moon, he's only here mainly because of, like, because I needed an enemy up here because no one can get up there, so he's just here. So he's the same as Hallie, basically, but he's just up here. And yeah, I don't have a model for him, so I'm probably going to show, like, a little drawing that I did. But yeah, there's all the enemies in the map. And yeah, so each one has like a purpose in a way. Hallie's just like there as the main like threat thing. He just always on you, so you have to like plan out where he is and stuff, because if you're in this corner area, if you go out, basically dead. So you gotta like plan out for that. Barry or Blackberry, you gotta like, hear where he is and stuff. Tweety isn't like that much of an issue as long as you like don't run into her or something. And Mr. Moon, he's not really an issue as long as you just like, keep moving up there and like, move around and stuff, and don't just stay in there. So it's not really that much of an issue or anything. So yeah, each enemy does have a purpose and stuff, and also, yeah. Now, what else should we talk about? Oh yeah, the editing properties. This area. So this lets you edit your controls and also the grid, so you can have it above or have no grid if you want. But I usually have the grid like on the default setting below. But yeah, it's always, if you want to like be more precise but you don't know where the grid is, I think that's a good option. Properties. This area lets you change a couple of things. So lets you pick the map name, which I chose mine to be Halley's because that's what the location here is called. And if you want to know why it's called Bounce House as well, I will get into that. When you're exporting your map, like saving it, one, if you name it something else, like if you name like the level like GM Robotics or something, what it will do is override that level. So just letting you know, if you want to like save your maps, just remember, like, if you want to like save them, quote unquote, just export them and have them be the same name. So if I wanted to save this map, I would save it as GM _ Bounce House, which is how it's saved as. So yeah, just letting you guys know about that. But back to the main stuff, properties, the map name. Oh yeah, what was I saying about that? Oh yeah, I was saying it's called Bounce House because these are supposed to be bounce houses, but you obviously know bounce houses, so I just have to stick with this for now. But hey, that's understandable. I don't think anyone's gonna make this level anyway, so it's understandable why they're not there. Back to the sorry about the rambling. So the map name, just whatever you want to call the maps. I can literally call this like I just call this like Frederick's Funhouse or whatever, and then save it as that or whatever. Sky color, this one, basically let me just make this white to show you. See in that background, there's no ceiling here, by the way, but you wouldn't notice in my actual map game if these the correct colors. So you see this? Yeah, that's the and if yeah, that's basically the color of the sky and everything. So if I wanted to have like a hellish look, or have it like be more like hellish, I would have something like that. Oh yeah, I'll get into that later. But if I wanted something like that, I can. Properties, the ambience. This basically, I'm putting the music because I probably will have music in the back here. This lets you basically change the ambience. You see this? You hear this in the back right now? That I chose the hotel ambience, and if I change this to dungeon, let's go play the ambience for that level. So yeah, that's what that is. Timer, kind of finicky. So let me just explain this to you. How this works is that it's not basically showing seconds for like a minute. So let me just give you an example. If we have like 60, if we put a 60 on here, we will have basically like 1 minute, or yeah, just a minute to complete this entire map, which is obviously too little. I set mine to like that, like the amount I had, like, which was 80, because I wanted something around like 2 minutes. And I think that's a good amount of time because you can still complete the map. Silent exits. This basically makes it so when you open an exit, so like for example, if I like went to like this exit door right here, it would basically simply, if I turn this on, it would make it so no enemies would like walk over there because they heard me open it. Which honestly I should turn on this map, but I haven't. So, because like I'm not saying these doors like back here or anything are like hard. I'm mainly talking about these ones, which I will talk about level design and explain why this area is kind of bad for this map. But anyway, back to the main, back to the settings, and then fog density. This one, you might need to tinker a bit because what I did have it at before was this. This is basically you can't see anything, and if there's like an enemy in front of you or something, like right, yeah, there. Like I wouldn't be able to see this unless like I was right next to him, and then I would be dead. So like, don't do that. Don't like set it to that. Unless you want to make your map like insanely hard or scary, or you have like scanning on or something, because these enemies do not. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I have mine at like 3.0 because I think it's a good amount where you can't see much, but you can still like know that something's coming at you like that. Alrighty. I should probably get into more of the custom enemy properties now. After I run on that, after I talk about this. Help just puts out, it just shows you the, thing that no one's probably gonna read unless you, don't have a tutorial like me. This lets you just make a new, like, blank slate. This lets you import maps, so, like, you can choose any map, which I can show you right now. So, basically, if I click, I think I showed you this earlier. Yeah, I did. Like, let's say I wanted to load corruption. It would load corruption, and then I can mess around and do whatever. But let's say I'm done, I want to load into Hallie's map. And if I want to do that, then yeah, just go here. Do that and all that. Blah, blah, blah. You get the point. You're done. Now, some things to keep in mind. And keep in mind, let's talk about the enemy maker. So, if we look at this is Hallie's, stuff. This is the name of the enemy, so like Callie. This is the death name, so if I wanted to name him something like Bob. Or his death name. There you go. His name is Bob when you die to him. The description, that's there when you die to explain to you like, hey, how does this enemy work? That's just there to show you. So that's what that's for. Enable join message. This basically is like the thing you saw like in my video at the end when like it said he's here. I could change that to say, yo, the pizza's here or something, like the joke, like that, you remember that? Yeah, I can make it say something like that if I wanted to, and yeah, it would show up as that. Jump scare, that's when you die to it. So let's say I change it to be Silent Man or something, and then so yeah, the jump scare, what that does is when I die to it, when I like get killed by Hallie, it will show up as like the Silent Man's jump scare, or the but I have it as Wolf because that's what the actual character is. So yeah, and then this is just the jump scare sounds. You can have Tainted's, Silent Man's, which I don't think he has one because it's a good name. But yeah, you can just like have whatever jump scare or sound you want from the game. So I could just make it also Wolves if I want, but I want Tainted. Which sounds right. Now let me go to black. Let me go to Garry for this one. This is the field of view. I think it is like how far you can see. The range, the view range. I think that's obvious. So like how far you can see and stuff, and like how far you can see around him. Normal speed, that's just like when he's not chasing you or anything. Close detection, I think it's when he like could spot you and stuff. So yeah, what else? Now freeze unlock, this is mainly like if you want, like let me just turn this on for a second and show you in game. So if I go to Garry, what this will basically do is make him act more like a weeping angel. So basically, if you know like the Chica, if you remember the robotics level and you remember Chica, that's basically what it does. It just turns them into Chica, kind of. Unless you want to like have it like do some other stuff besides that, but yeah, that's basically what it does. Chase speed, I think that's obvious. Attention span, that's basically how long they would chase you for. Scream cooldown, still unsure about that, but yeah. Shake duration, wait, shake during chase, my bad. Shake during chase just makes it so when you are getting chased, they start shaking. So it's like a visual thing, if you're gonna chase. Scaled speed, this basically makes it so they start out, like, let's say you set your speed to like, let's say like 5, and then you have it so every 1.5 seconds, he increases his speed till he's at 17. So let me just test that out to show you visually. So let's say I have him, let's just say I have him right here. He's at 5 speed, but then you realize he's like getting he's getting faster. Like he's like, oh no, alright, yeah, right here. So you can see he's like slow, but then he's like, oh hold on, is he? Oh yeah, as you can see, he's like starting out slow, but then oh wait, starting to catch up. Starting to catch up. Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Oh shoot! Crash! So yeah, that's basically what that does. That just makes him speed up faster if you want him to. And yeah, also keep in mind as well, whatever you had hidden and whatever you selected, you have to redo, like reselect it and everything, because it doesn't like, you know, save, like, not like save, but like it doesn't like, you know, keep like how you had it, like had your settings before. Would probably be a nice thing to add next time. But yeah, that's what scaled speed does. So let me just set that back to sorry. Let's just set that back to how it was before. Can't hear sounds. This just lets him, so if you set off a generator or something, he goes to it. And then here behind, I'm guessing if he was like looking the other way, he can still hear it, which I do also have on because I want this level to kind of hard. Enrage speed. Yeah, basically I think you were enraged. Let me just try this out. So let's see. Lose enrage on attack. I'm assuming what this does is basically at like, depending on whatever setting you have on, he gets enraged. I'm assuming that's what it does. I'm not sure exactly. Again, I haven't like checked out these settings fully. I just know the basics. I'm just trying to teach you the basics here because I haven't seen anyone else do it. So yeah. Enable proximity. Player close range. I'm assuming what this does is if the player is close enough, it's like, you know, yeah, enrage after proximity. So it just like, I'm assuming it's when the player is close, they can like still detect you and stuff. Enable passive. Now this lets you do a couple of things. This lets you perform ability after patrols, reset after chase, perform ability after chase. What this lets you do basically is like what I just listed. You can make it so it can reset after chase, perform ability after chase, and also what you want your ability to be, and also like perform ability after patrols, which, you know, I think that's obvious. But the ability, you can choose detect player, scan player, ignite ground, place trap, and yeah, that's all of them. But I will keep in mind you do have to make sure to turn off this can get hit by traps, because what will happen is they would place the trap, get hit by it, and then it wouldn't be a trap at that point. Okay, idle while start. This basically this like basically makes them so they show up at the start but don't do anything. So basically, like a good example is the FNAF NPC, the FNAF enemies. If you spawn them in and then start the round and then look for them, which I didn't do in my videos or anything, but what I'm saying is that if you did do this and looked around for them, you would see, oh hey, there they are. They're just like, there. And then when you start the round, they start moving and all that. So yeah, just letting you know that does. Which I can also show visually. Friendly patrol. This one just makes it so they basically use that in action if you were wondering. See, yeah. Just letting you know if you were wondering how that worked. Yeah. So turn that off. But friendly patrol. Let's look at Tweety now. Friendly patrol should probably be on. Friendly patrol basically makes it so they don't just basically makes it so they don't chase you. They see she's not chasing me at all. So yeah, that's basically what that does. So yeah, I don't know why that wasn't on, but like either way, how I designed and how I made Tweety work is like it still works with it, so like it doesn't really matter. But I should probably turn that on though. Unless it makes like, let me just test something. Unless it like makes the sound messed up. Because I did also make sure that when you get hit by her, she makes a sound. So maybe it messes up that. I'm not sure. Ah, shoot, they're going the same way. Hold on, 1 second. I'll cut back. I'll cut the footage when I... Okay, so it kind of just messes up the sound. If you, like, have something like that for, like, these types of enemies, but, I don't think anyone has. Which means I kind of am the first one to try it, but still. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to Garry, or Blackbeard. Let's get back to them. And let's look for where we... Yeah, we were, like, around here. So, yeah, I already talked about this. Footsteps, that's just, like, the sounds they make when they walk around. You can pick any footstep, mostly, besides, I don't think, it also gives you a little, preview. So there's, wolf stuff. Yeah, so I have Minji Bag because it sounds like the most loudest, so yeah, that's why I chose it. Enable voice icon. This is basically, if I enable it, it would basically show a voice, like, like the most of the enemies in the game, like besides the robotic, like the FNAF like enemies, the enemy in Corruption had this. That's basically what this, basically, that like little voice icon, like little like microphone icon thing that they had on top. That's basically what this does. It just shows you, it just puts like one of those things on top of the head when they like talk or something. Which, if you're still confused on what I'm talking about, I'll show you visually in a second. Talking cooldown. What am I saying? This is probably for like the idle sound, which, speaking of that, you can choose what you want them to like, what sounds you want them to make during the idle. The hear sound, same sort of thing, you can choose the same like audio stuff. Spot sound, that's obvious. Give up sounds when they like give up during a chase. Spawn sound, that's when they spawn in and everything. Hurt sound is when they like get hit by something. Enrage sounds when they're like, enraged. And audio pitch, this lets you change the, pitch of the sound. I think that's obvious for every single one of these. So what I did make it sound like was actually like a bear, because he's supposed to be like a big, strong bear. Barry. So, yeah, that's what I did. I just made it, like, very deep and sound like an actual bear by using the tainted sounds. So yeah, and then chainsaw right down here, just using chainsaw noises, which I can show right here as well. So if I started, yeah, he starts doing chainsaw noises, and if we follow him and look on top of his head, see, anyway, I'm gonna stop that now so we don't have to listen to that. But yeah, that's basically what those two settings do. Chainsaw just makes them do chainsaw noises, and voice icon just puts a voice icon on his head. Yeah, so that's that. Now, a couple of things I should note, okay, before we get to the map section. One, you see how I clicked on this and everything around it, kind of like this ground right here, kind of turned gray, including this one. That's the height. So you see, so basically, at the bottom here, it says Y and T. Y makes it move down, and T makes it move up. And up there is also the layer, if you're confused, like, I'm probably like, here, right up here. If you look right there, that is showing you the height of how high it is and everything. So that's just there to show you, like, hey, that's where this is and everything, so you know, like, so you can make your maps better and all that. And also gives them more dips and things. Yeah, what am I saying? And then scale, that's the same sort of thing, except for walls, you can make walls like more high and stuff, which is what I did here. Which G I think is to move it up, yeah, and H is to move it down. So yeah. E, that just resets. If you click E, it resets the like the height and everything. Which for that you can just look at these controls. I don't need to explain it for this. And we already know what Control C and Control V does, copy paste, so we don't need to explain that. Now that we're done, I should explain a couple things, which Billy does explain in the help section. Which one of those I didn't follow, but the first thing is to design your map beforehand, which I kind of did with my SketchUp map, which I'm going to show on screen. Which this is not one-to-one because of how this game works and everything, and me just like not like being able to put a reference down, but it's close to the reference. It's pretty close, not like one-to-one obviously, but still pretty close to the reference and should be still kind of accurate. And the second is to like plan ahead, like, and also the reason I mentioned the first thing is to design your map kind of around your enemies, which is what I tried to do. Now, my map does have issues. You know, like down here. Also, if you wonder why when I turn off the ceiling and stuff, these didn't show up, it's because this is ground. This is the ground right here, except it's like more high up. Mainly why this is here is because if you go up here, you would see the top. The ceiling, what it does is it doesn't actually have like a top thing with the ceiling. So what happens is that you just see nothing up like on top. So that's why there's some ground there. And I'll just show you there's like not nothing where you look up. So yeah, that's. Anyway, back to the main topic. But there is issues with this map. Now, I don't think there's any issues with this main area. I think this main area works well. There's a lot of open space. This area is pretty good. This, while being sort of a dead end, I try to make sure there's no dead ends in the map. But this, while having some dead ends, not bad. Maybe I can make it loop back around, perhaps, and then give more space down here. That might be something of note to do. I'll write that down for myself. But now let's get into this back area. Now, for me testing this map, this back area, there's not a lot of room to, like, escape the enemies and stuff. I need, like, and also the doors as well. The doors are, like, I'm not saying, like, this is accurate to the map, I will say. But what this means is that if you have this map, I feel like was made to be this first half, you know, with you know, this area, which these are supposed to be bouncy houses, and everything like this area works. This works because, like, you know, and if this was in the actual like Oregon that I'm gonna go up and like work on soon with my dad, this should kind of, you know, work well with these enemies, you know. All of that. It's just that it wasn't here. Unless, hold up. Test something. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. I want to test this. Like, I want to test this like that. What if? Yeah, no, not just putting a control point there doesn't like fix the issue of the stage. Okay, good to know. But back to the map then. I just like, and also I probably cut that out. But point is, this top area, like this like bottom half works well. There is some like dead end rooms and down here and everything, but this map works. And I bet in the actual game, this area would work pretty fine as well. Maybe it might need some tweaking, but you know, this is what this is for. This is kind of just to try it out, even though there is issues, you know. And from just testing it, I think it works out pretty well, and it's, you know, not bad. And also these little areas. Yeah. Now let's get into this main issue. This employee area. I need to probably move it a bit more, like, I need to make it a bit more open, because the issue is here. Is that there's nowhere to, like, get away easily from, like, Barry or anything. And also, it's just, like, way too cramped. The kitchen, I think, is honestly fine. The kitchen's fine. I think it works well. It's fine. The side rooms are the issue. Those rooms are, like, the main issue. I think those need, like, some tweaking and stuff. So maybe I'll make another version of the map. Not, like, fully redoing it, but, like, mainly redoing this top area, because this does not work with the bottom half, which is more open and stuff and works well. You know, this just needs some reworks, and it also is not kind of one-to-one. So maybe I'll move it out a bit more, you know, and just, yeah. I think that's mainly what I'm going to do, just move that out a bit more, and also edit the layout a bit, so maybe, like, I just have to test and see what works, you know? And yeah, I think that's about it for this map. But yeah, this map, this was kind of just to give little pointers and stuff about, like, the map editor and everything. And also, just test your map. I think that's the main thing. Just, like, test your map. Like, whether you're building your map or, like, testing your enemies, just test the app. Just test out everything. Like, just test to see what works and what doesn't. Like, here's a good example. The fog density. I tried to figure out what was the best fog density, and I landed on 3.0. Because that gave you a good amount of distance, but not too much distance. Not too little distance, to the point where you couldn't see anything coming at you. And yeah. Also, I think... Also, I should mention a couple of things. Speaking of that. If we go to customize, this... I forgot to mention this. Customize, right here. This lets you pick your enemy. So, let's say I wanted Barry to be... Tinky Winky. Let's just say I wanted Barry to be Tinky Winky. But not just any Tinky Winky. A yellow Tinky Winky. I can, change the color. You know, change the color. I can make him look like peed on himself or something. I can make him like very dark and mysterious. So now you know that. Maybe the lighter so it's even better. You can make it so he can be scanned, have a colored shadow. So now his shadow will be yellow. And visibility. This. Basically, you know how Howley right here, or a little Howley boy over here. Yeah, when you get, basically what this does is, you know there's NPCs in the corruption level that just wandered around. That's what this does. It just makes it just makes it so the custom NPC has the same property. That's basically what this does, okay? So you guys know. And show name, I think it just shows the name on top. Let me just test this. I also see the berry stuff in action. Yeah, it just shows the name on top. And you can also see P himself in the there. Close quick. But yeah, that's basically that. Now another thing I should probably mention. Let me just reload this map so that, you know, everything's back to normal and everything, and there's no random key-colored Teletubbies. Is some other stuff about the custom enemy thing. So how you get to it first off. You have to go to custom, obviously. And you gotta go here. Now you have the custom enemy thing. Now if you don't know what you should do or anything like that for the custom enemy maker, there's some preset down. Now the civilian, I tested it out, it's kind of nothing. Like, it's just a basic NPC that roams around. So, you know, kind of a good starter, but not the best. I feel like a good starting point, medium would probably be like if you want like to see like how he like can't see anything and all that. I feel like that might be, unless unless he doesn't work like that in this, but you get my point. And yeah, you can just load any of the enemies. You can see like, oh yeah, okay. So this is what that's for. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can see like how it works and everything. Like you can see, oh, okay, okay. And then you can see like, oh, okay, I see. So they have that for that. No spawn sound. They have that for that. Audio pitch, got it. No chainsaw. You know, like, and also you can see like, does he have anything unique? No, he doesn't have skilled speed. All that, and like also like, but yeah, that's just like a preset. So if you don't know what you should do or anything, you could just look at this, you know, or see what to do. And yeah, and then also if you want, you can just make them look completely different and confuse people. Like, look, I'm gonna make him look like no. Oh shoot, I'm dead. But yeah, you get my point at this point. What? Anyway, you get my point though. That's basically that's basically for the custom enemy stuff. So yeah, also you can save your custom enemies. You can like, you know, like here. And also folder, I think this also is on the maps and stuff. I'm guessing this is to save your enemy, like, custom enemies. I don't know how you would do that. I can probably figure that out later and, you know, put it in the video. Which I probably will cut the video right now and show you. If I did. If I didn't, then that means I haven't done that, and yeah, I should probably do that. Should probably do that right now. Anyway, but yeah, that's just the custom enemies and stuff, and yeah, same properties here, all that, blah blah blah. You know, I don't need to go into detail again about this. But another thing I should mention is that there's also puppets. Now these are different because what these let you do is a couple of interesting things. They obviously again let you do the same sort of stuff as before. So let's just use Tinky Winky here as an example. This just lets you like let you see if you want to scan them. Footstep sounds are down here now. So now we just let's just set it to like, I guess we'll set it to duck. Cuts fog. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I don't, hold on. I should probably test what Cuts Fog does, because I haven't actually tested it. I don't know what that does. Doesn't actually cut the fog. Unless you're talking about some other, like, type of fog, but I'm not sure. Anyway, back to the actual main thing. What this lets you do is also, we need something else, which is, oh yeah, I should probably explain this, but I'll explain it after I do this. So let's say let's go to noise, for example, which these are obviously, like, noise objects. So, like, plants, leaves, trash, oh yeah, the wire, tripwire, yeah, a trap, and fire. But then there's triggers, which if we want the triggers we have to go here. Now, if we click P, it lets us, scale the number all the way up to funny number 64. I was gonna say the other one, did you? Anyway, but what this lets us do is that if we place that down, and then we go back to the enemy, we can add this, which this lets us do a couple things, like say, move to player, which, you know, makes them move to the player. But let's say we want them, after we trigger the thing, let's make them, like, move to us, then wait until, let's just wait, let's just make them, let's just make them slowly walk towards us, and then make them say, Bazinga. And then we'll make them wait, like, sorry for I'm not talking here, but then we'll make them wait like 3 seconds to let the player think, and then we'll just go self-delete. We're just making self-delete. Now, if we test this out, what's going to happen is that now he's, oh wait, we need to make them move to player. We need to make them wait. We'll make them wait like 10 seconds. That should be enough time for them to actually catch up. So now, what's going to happen is that he's going to move to the player. And then he's going to say it. Bazinga. And then, yeah, he's gone. And now we'll never see him again. But yeah, that's just a taste of the custom enemies and stuff, and the puppets and all that. Now let's get into these stuff that I have not mentioned at all, and probably will gloss over a lot. So we got spawn, which is NPCs and all that. We know that. Patrol. You see the question marks? That's the patrol points that they go to. So if you place these down, that's where they're going to walk towards and all that. So if you only have one, they're just going to stand there. And if you have two, they'll go back and forth and all that. Noise is basically what I just went over. It's basically props, like not no props, stuff that makes noise, so like fire and stuff. But also triggers, which is for stuff like the traffic lights. One of the enemies, the Umbrella Man, you know that guy, from that origin. The NPC stuff, or puppets, and some fog, which, yeah. Now if we go to, next up on the list of stuff is props. This is just like stuff you can put around your map. We got like furniture, doors, which you know, I think the doors are obvious. Like if I place one down, okay, like if I place, sorry, excuse me, I just had breakfast. But if you like place it down, you know, just work and all that, and yeah. Functional, which is stuff like the traffic lights, the chain, the like saws, and the cart. And I think how this mainly works is that you can set the endpoint. You can change the endpoint to like be over here, for example. So now, if I start the map, yeah, see, it's gonna go back and forth now. So you can just have those in the map if you want. Yeah, I think that would make my map a bit too hard. It's already hard enough with, like, you know, like 3 enemies. I don't think we need extra props and stuff. Decals, this is just more prop stuff, and I think some of them, like this, yeah, this is something I should probably mention, the walls. The walls, I'm going to mention the walls later, but basically how this works is that you see the red line, that's basically where it's going to show up. So you gotta like place it like right here. Now this may look wrong now, but if we start the game, it's going to show up right here. There's our little sign. And if we want to move it a bit up more, it's the same buttons as before. T to move it up here. You can make it look like it's up there now. And there it is, it's up there. Now let's get back to more of the prop stuff, not errors, we don't need errors right now. Come on. Oh, no, I guess it's there now. I guess this is just a test. Let's see. Posters are the same thing as the decals mostly. Some of them, again, might be on walls or not. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Graffiti, same thing again. Sprays, this is like little like text stuff around the map that's bloody. Outdoor stuff, outdoor stuff like smoke and everything. Corpses, dead bodies, if you want. And yeah, that's basically about it for the props. Errors, these are like kind of important. So, you can first toggle if you want them to be the first ones you collect or not. So, what I also learned is that you can have multiple first ones. So, you would have to collect all of the first few. And then, yeah, you can start the map. So, just letting everyone know, just letting any map creators, as well, you can also make it so the player has different spawns. So, you can see right now I spawned where I usually would, but if I spawn them again, okay, I said if I spawn them again, there we are. So now I am spawned in on the other side of that. So if I wanted to, I can make the player spawn over there, or over here. Wherever I want them to spawn, I can have them spawn. But yeah, that's just a little like thing, so you know. And that's just like one of the options. However, this only works on 2 types of errors. This only works on the hidden errors or the normal ones. So just letting you know. Then servers. These are like, I think we all know what those are. Those are the loud computers. Missing floor textures. Now, how this works is that you have to like put a bunch of them. So you see how there's like a bunch of them right there. That's like how it looks like you can like do a bunch. Because if you place one, it's actually just go place actually one. So like, let me just test this out. See, only one. It's one and only one. So yeah, just keep that in mind while you're making a map. And then wall ones are the same thing. However, you should keep in mind that they're going to be like, if you like have them on the wall, just like how we have them right now, they'll all go show up at the bottom. So if you want them to show more at the top or something, you gotta start like testing out your map a bit, just like move it up a bit. And now we spawn in. See, now it's more up on the wall. And also, yeah, you saw that from there. Yeah, if you don't have them on a wall, they just kind of float in whichever way you had them facing. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're making a map. And yeah, that's basically all the errors. Exit. Exits. These are like what show up like at the end. So you see these, yeah, those are that. So yeah. And if you have multiple, keep in mind you have to go around and get all of them. And I mean all of them. So yeah, there's like only 1, 2, 3, only 6 exits on this map, which doesn't sound like a lot in action, but actually it kind of is a lot. But what makes it hard is, Barry and everything is like kind of just makes it kind of hard, especially Hallie, like in these like cramped hallways, and Barry. Dewey is not a big issue, and Mr. Moon isn't that bad, but yeah, you get my point. Like, it's kind of hard to escape on this one. So I might, again, might need a nerf a bit. Anyway, now we can get to the actual main map building stuff. So, ceilings. I actually placed a couple right there, so let me just, yeah, ceilings. We all know what ceilings are. They're basically roofs. We don't need to explain it. I don't know. I will say something. If you click X or Z, which is the stuff that you do to change the stuff, I forgot to mention for all of it, but it's down here, so if you forget, there it is. You can pick any, like, you can pick any texture for the floor or something. So if I wanted, like, this to be my roof, if I wanted that to be my roof, there we go. It's my roof now. So yeah. That's basically the ceiling. And again, you can make them go up more. So now it's like a bit more high. It's like a bit higher. And yeah, that's basically that. Now the ground, the walls, like the walls, sorry, it wasn't, that was placed. Walls, same sort of thing as the decals, except you can move them J and L, R to rotate, you know, all that. And yeah, if you place it, it's just a wall, you know. No need to explain it. It's just a wall. Now I will say this. This is something important. It will not like. It's not like a wall where you place it on one side and then done. It's basically just an image that you can't like go through. So, which technically that's a wall, but you get my point. So what we need to do actually is do this. We need to get another wall. So copy and paste that wall. Have it in the same spot but facing the other way. And then also we need to cover up those ends there. So we need to shorten the wall as much as we can. Place at the end there. Now we actually have a wall. See? So now can't get through any side. So yeah, just keep that in mind when building your map. So yeah, that's all. And also I was having trouble with this mainly in the back area and all that, so yeah, just keep that in mind again, and then you should be good. So just don't be dumb and just place one wall on one side unless you're sure that your player is not going into that room or something. So yeah. What else? Ground. This is easy. It's just ground. You can move it. You can scale it up and down with I to move it up here, and K to move it down, J to widen it, and L to shorten it, W, A, S, D, you know, to move it, change the ground texture, you know, we already, and yeah, also, like, you can scale it up, which is how I made this little balcony area. I'm not going into detail again, you already get it, I'm not going to try to repeat myself, okay? But yeah, that's basically this map. And yeah. And again, the reason I made this map, okay. So I forgot. The reason I made this map is just to test out, like, I want to make sure this map for my horror game doesn't have any dead ends or anything. So I mainly just made this map to test out if there was like any issues with like getting around enemies or anything like that. So this may not be one-to-one with the game, but it's close enough to where, like, you know, could still like be useful for the game and all that. Because like they're supposed to be like, if you looked at my sketch earlier, which I'll probably have up on screen, but if you like look at the sketch, there's supposed to be like a bouncy house up here, a bouncy house over here, you know, some pillars here, you know, but I don't have them here because it would kind of just make it a bit too cramped, and I didn't have enough room, and I was trying to like stick in a like sort of like boundary area. But what I do have, it still kind of works for the map, and I think is still like, you know, good information for the map, because I still got the general details, you know. And also, I'll say this as well, also this area kind of doesn't match, because it's supposed to be like a little area entrance here. So, yeah, still not one-to-one, you know, but still works, you know, still works. Again, still can be useful, and yeah. And also, yeah, this office area is not going to be able to be enterable, like, not like enterable as like you can't enter it, I mean like enemies can't go in it, mostly, so yeah, that's just saying the office is still going to, like, this office area still going to be fun and stuff. This still works, I think, is where it works fine, you know. And also another thing, the enemies aren't going to work the exact same, like how it's going to be a bit more complicated but these two are mostly going to act the exact same. So, you know, same sort of thing. Maybe, you know, maybe Barry will act a bit more differently, but still mostly the same. And Mr. Moon's not going to be even here. He's only here because of, because Mr. Halley and everyone can't go up here. So he's only here because no one else can. But he might, show up in the game in a different way, but I'm not going to say how. So that'll be spoilers. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. If you guys are more interested in this horror game, just let me know. But also, if you guys found this video like a good use of information, and like helped you a bit, like learn a bit, like how like the stairs worked and all of that, then yeah, let me know. And yeah, I will say it kind of sucks how you can't like import your maps, like to yeah, it sucks that you can't like export your maps to like publish them somewhere and share them with people, because I feel like that would be a very cool thing, and you know, it would let you like try out like other creators' maps and all. I feel like that would be very cool because I would love to publish this, but I can't. But still, very fun. I've been having fun with this. Like literally yesterday when I was taking my break, I was just messing around and putting enemies in. This editor is pretty fun. I can't speak. This like editing. This editor is like pretty fun to mess around with, and also this game in general is pretty fun. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. That's what I wanted to say. And also that's all I wanted to do today. And also, yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, to end off today's video, I'm gonna try to beat my map. Okay? I may not beat it because I can't. I'm gonna try run. If I die, then that's the end of the video. Okay? That's our challenge. Okay? Just gonna try to beat this map that I made. Okay? Here we go. Let me just focus up. But you mostly saw where all the errors are, so, and also I know where all the errors are, so yeah, this should be easy. And also you can see how a map like this works in action, and all, excuse me, and all that. Also, I should mention, as well, there are some things I've got to mention. You can also set the damage and the cooldown, like, on how much damage, like, how much they do damage for. So, Blackbear, or Barry, has the usual damage cooldown, but he does like 50 damage, so normal. Whereas Garry, damage, except Halley does 100, but he's easy to dodge, so that's understandable. And Twee does no damage, so anyway, let's start. Now this top area is good to just take a breather kind of. You can't stand here, stay here for long. Sorry if I don't talk again, I just focus on this. Yeah. Alright. Alright, also another thing. So you know those like little table stuff I have there? If you like I'm assuming because of how it works, they can't like see past it, so yeah, just letting you know, maybe that's why they can't climb up the stairs. No, wait, honestly, maybe that's why they can't climb the stairs. You know what, maybe I'll end this video on a nice note for my map. Hold up. Because what's up? on the stairs you can set it so if they can walk through it. So wait, is this what the stair stuff is? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time to test it. Moment of truth. Come on, Hallie. Oh my, oh my God! Wait, hold up. We don't need you anymore. Bye. Hold up. Wait. Oh my God. Wait, come on, Hallie. Oh my God. We did it. I figured it out. Okay, so now we know how to do the stairs. Okay, there you go. See, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. But yeah, I guess I'll save the map here. I'll add a patrol point up here so that way, you know, the enemies can actually go up here. And we'll just go to save it here. This is also a good way to show off the saving thing. So yeah, now that works, go save it as GM underscore bounce house. Also keep in mind you can't do uppercase, so just letting you guys know. Alright, now if we import the map, yeah, there's no copies. See, now the stairs work. So now the enemies can go up there. Wahoo! Anyway, so yeah, just now that we know that, keep that in mind when you're making stairs. Alright, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna call it here actually. And yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna work on this, give you guys updates, you know, explain some stuff. Like maybe I'll you know, give you updates on this project. I might show off stuff for the project when we get started on making it, probably around next week. I may also about next week. I don't know if I'll be uploading any videos next week, so yeah, know that. Just letting you guys know. I may be able to upload next week, but you know, it depends. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, see ya. Alrighty, so if you guys don't know, am I played this FNAF fan game, Five Nights at Freddy's. You probably know this one. Uh, yeah, they've been teasing some stuff. Today's Friday, and they usually tease stuff on Friday, so let's check out. Alrighty, so they got what else do they got? Okay, so they got a video. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, this is oh Rockstar Cheek.
What can I get you, hon?
Oh, is that Ragatha? No, that's Ragatha. What? Wait, hold on. Wait, I need to rewind this. Hold on. I need to take this. What? What? Oh. Wait, what? What?
Game on!
Wait. Fred Sweep. Wait. Oh, that's cool. Wait. Wait, let me read. So, buy customizable item. Okay. What is okay? Recruit some. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. So, we got Rockstar Freddy, Rockstar Chica, the mole guy. I forgot his name from Pop Goes. Okay. And yeah, yeah. There's the guy. Hmm. Okay. There's a lot to take in, especially there's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in here. Um, okay. I did not expect this in a game about I did not expect this to be in a game where in a funny FNAF game.